Okay, I am here to discuss the solution of maths as far as the main is concerned of 2016. I am going to discuss the paper with code E. Let me start with the first problem. It states that f of x plus twice of f of 1 by x is equal to 3x, and then you have to figure out a number of solution of some equation. When in this equation, if you replace x with 1 by x, you will end up getting this equation. After solving these two equations simultaneously for f of x, you will find that f of x is going to be equal to 2 by x minus x, and then if you solve this function for f of x equal to minus x, f of x equal to f of minus x, you will end up getting x square equal to 2, which is clearly going to point out two solutions, which is going to match with the option 3 of that problem. Okay, second problem is related with complex numbers. Some expression is given related to theta, and you have to make sure that that is purely imaginary. So all you need to do is that you have to figure out its real part, whatever complex number is given, and you have to make sure that that is 0. That's how you can make it pure imaginary. Once you rationalize that expression after multiplying with the conjugate pair of the denominator, you can clearly check that denominator becomes a perfect square plus perfect square, which cannot be involved in this problem. All you need to do is that now you have to figure out real part of this quantity and you have to make it 0. If you do that, you will find that 6 sine square theta is equal to 2, which is clearly going to correspond to the option 4 in that problem. Fine. The third problem is related with one equation, and you are supposed to figure out sum of all real values of x which satisfy that equation. If you observe, this is in the form of a to the power of b, and you have to make sure it is 1. There are multiple possibilities to that, and if you make sure that this power is equal to 0, then certainly this is going to be equal to 1, provided the base is non-zero. Alternatively, you can have a situation wherein the base is either 1 or minus 1, but you have to be careful while dealing with the minus 1 case. You have to ensure this: when the base is minus 1, the power should be an even number, because you want right hand side to be equal to 1. If you figure out the roots for the first quadratic, that is, you can check, it is clearly minus 10 and 6. For the second quadratic, if I take it as 1, you can check roots are 2 and 3, and for the third quadratic, when this base is minus 1, you should end up getting solution as one and 4. But if you check this value of x equal to 3, which we have got when you make sure that the base is minus 1, in this particular case the power becomes an odd number, which is clearly not going to be a solution. So sum of all real root, and check, it is going to match with option which is adding up to 3, which is matching with the option 1 in that problem. Next problem is related with system of linear equations. There you have a set of 3 equations which are to form a homogeneous system, and you are looking for the value of lambda, number of values of lambda, better say, when that system has non-trivial solution. Clearly in that case, all you need to do is that you have to make sure the coefficient matrix is singular. If you do that, you will find that it's a cubic polynomial in lambda, and that expression is going to simplify to this. Clearly you can check there are 3 different values of lambda, which is going to match with the option 4 in that problem. Next problem is related with system of linear equations. There you have a set of three equations which are to form a homogeneous system, and you are looking for the value of lambda, number of values of lambda, better say, when that system has non-trivial solution. Clearly in that case, all you need to do is that you have to make sure the coefficient matrix is singular. If you do that, you will find that it's a cubic polynomial in lambda, and that expression is going to simplify to this. Clearly you can check there are three different values of lambda, which is going to match with the option 4 in that problem. Next problem is related with combinatorics. You have one word given small, you have to figure out its rank when the words are written in lexicographic order. In such a case, it's better if you arrange those alphabets in alphabetical order. All you need to do is that you have to figure out the number of words prior to small. Clearly when the word is going to start from A, is clearly going to lie prior to small. But prior to A, if you consider cases, you can check corresponding to this A, the total number of words possible is 4 factorial by 2 factorial. But if you take L, you are then going to have 4 factorial possibilities, and the way we have got answer for A, in a similar way we'll be having similar answers for M also. By this we have taken care of that whole expression. After this you need to consider then the next case, that is prior to M, how many cases you are left with. That is again going to correspond to these many cases, that is 3 factorial by 2 factorial by plus 3 factorial, and after that you have to consider 1, which is going to make it 58. Please remember this 1 is required because till this 0 we have taken care of number of words which are going to occur prior to small. So rank of this number is going to be 58, which is going to make the option 4 correct. This particular problem is incorrect, and the information which was given in that expansion is that number of term is 28. You can manage to prove this, that the number of terms in the expansion of it is always going to be an odd number, but it is given 28. I guess those people have taken that answer provided you proceed in this way, but I don't think that is a correct approach, because if you treat these terms as independent terms, then clearly you can check in this trinomial expansion you are going to have total number of distinct terms as n plus 2c2. If you make it 28, you will find that n is nothing else but 6, and that is how sum of all the coefficient is going to match with 3 to the power 6, which is 729, matches with option 4, but this is an incorrect problem. They should have cancelled this problem. Okay, next problem is related with progression. There it is given that second term, fifth term and ninth term of some AP are in GP. So if I utilize that fact, I'll be dealing with this equation. After solving this equation, you can clearly check that first term is going to be 8 times the common difference. I am ruling out the possibility that D is 0 because it's given non-constant AP, corresponding to which, if you look at the common ratio value, that is nothing else but A plus 4D by A plus D, is going to make sure that answer is 4 by 3, which is nothing else but the option 2. Next problem is again related with some series, and if you simplify those terms, you will find that all those terms are having common denominator. I'm sorry. That is 25. And in the numerator, if you take out 4 square, you have square of natural numbers. Since it is given, you are looking at sum of first 10 terms, you can then clearly check that the sum of the numerator is going to match with this, and if this is given to you as 16 by 5 times m, after calculation, simple calculation, you will find that m is 101, which is nothing else but option 2. Next problem is related to the limit. You can check that problem is in 1 to the power infinity form. So limiting value is clearly, which is given to you as p, is going to be e to the power k, where k is going to be base minus 1, that is this much, into the power function, which is twice of twice of x, which I can write it as root x square. Hence this is going to be half. So clearly answer is also going to be half, because you're looking at log of p, which is going to be k ultimately. It's nothing else but the option 3. Next problem is related with derivative. When you have some function given and you're looking at its differentiability at 0, whether that exists or not. If that exists, you have to figure out its value. You can check that problem has no connection with 0, because the critical point is going to be some angle whose sine matches with ln 2. Clearly that is not 0, so in order to figure out g dash of 0, all you need to do is that you have to just differentiate that composition and figure out this value. Once you figure out this value, after modifying that function, you will find that this is cos of ln of 2, nothing else, which is then the option 2 in that problem. In the next problem, that is related with normal and all, when some function is given to you, once you simplify that function f of x, you will find that that function is simplifying to pi by 4 plus x by 2, because since it is given in that problem that x is in 0 to pi by 2 interval, clearly you can check that x by 2 is in 0 to 45. And once that is in 0 to 45, that expression of tan inverse of tan theta becomes theta. That's all it is this. So equation of normal is going to be equal to this much, as the slope is half here. This equation then simplifying to, and out of the 4 options you can check is the second option through which this line is passing. And in the next problem, it is given to you that a wire of fixed length, you need to cut it into 2 parts and you have to form a square and a circle. Clearly then that 2 unit length must match with 4 of x, where x is the side length, and 2 pi r, where r is the radius of that circle. All you need to do in that problem is that you have to minimize the sum of area of square and circle. Clearly once you figure out dA by dx, you will end up getting that expression as in this form. And you can figure out dr by dx from this after differentiating it. Once you simplify that whole matter, you will find that x is directly going to match with twice of r, which is the option 3 in that problem. Next problem is related to indefinite integral. There you can check you have polynomial by polynomial and there is no direct substitution which is going to help you. In such a case, it's always better you take highest power of x from the denominator outside and take it in the numerator. Once you do that, you will end up getting this expression. And as far as denominator is concerned, it's going to be this much. You can then clearly check this base has derivative this along with the negative sign. So I can safely say that this expression is nothing else but this, whose integral you can easily manage. After simplifying and substituting the value of t, you will find that this expression is going to match with the option 2 in that problem. Okay, in the next problem, it's again related to the limit, but that is related, you can check its definite integral as a limit of a sum. Once I take ln of both the side, you will find that that problem is getting simplified to this expression. where r is ranging from 1 to 2n. Here you have to be careful, it's given 2n number of terms. So once you convert this into integral, it is going to vary from 0 to 2 ln of 1 plus x dx, which is also equivalent to integral of ln x if you take 1 to 3 limit. So I am directly going to substitute 1 to 3 limit in this expression. You will find that this is going to give you final expression as ln of 27 by e square. So ultimately answer is 27 by e square, which is matching with the option 2. In the next problem, it's related with area related with parabola and circle. Since we are dealing with area only in the first quadrant, so I am taking only that half of the parabola. As far as the inequality goes, that inequality suggests that we need to deal with the region outside the parabola, and the circle which is given to you having center at 2, 0 and radius is also 2. After solving that circle with the parabola, you can check x equal to 0 and 2 are the solutions. So this is how that diagram is going to look like. Since this point of intersection is 2 and the radius is also 2, we can then safely say that this area of the circle is 1/4 of it, but we are interested only in this part of it. So 1/4 area is going to be this much minus the area enclosed by the parabola from 0 to 2. After simplifying this, we will end up getting 5 minus 8 by 3, which is the option 2 in that problem. The next problem is related to the differential equation. One differential equation is given, and once you simplify that expression, that is x dy minus y dx equal to xy square dx, you can check that is in exact form. And once I take that y square to this side, I can write the left hand side as negative of b of xy and right side is x dx, integrating which I'll end up getting the solution as this. And to figure out c, one condition is given that this curve is passing through 1 comma minus 1. You can then clearly figure out the value of c. Once you know that y is nothing else but that f of x, which is going to be equal to minus of 2x by x square plus 1, and hence f of minus half matches with the option 4, that is 4 by 5. The next problem is related to the differential equation. One differential equation is given, and once you simplify that expression, that is x dy minus y dx equal to xy square dx, you can check that is in exact form. And once I take that y square to this side, I can write the left hand side as negative of b of xy and right side is x dx, integrating which I'll end up getting the solution as this. And to figure out c, one condition is given that this curve is passing through 1 comma minus 1. You can then clearly figure out the value of c. Once you know that y is nothing else but that f of x, which is going to be equal to minus of 2x by x square plus 1, and hence f of minus half matches with the option 4, that is 4 by 5. Okay, next problem is related with circles. When one circle is given to you, center is at 4 comma 4 and radius is equal to 6, and it's being told that one circle touches this circle externally, and you're looking at locus of its center. And if I take that center as x comma y, clearly then you can check its distance from the other circle center should be equal to r1 plus r2. one radius is known and the other radius you can figure out by the help of this fact that circle touches x-axis. Clearly then that radius is going to be y itself. So that equation is this much, which you can check clearly it's a parabola, matching with the option 4 then. In the next problem, one circle is given to you with center at 2, minus 3 and radius is something which you can figure out as 5. It's being told that diameter of this particular circle is a chord of some circle whose center is at minus 3, 2. Clearly you can then say that if you join these 2 points, this angle is automatically going to be 90 because it is behaving like chord. Hence you can apply Pythagoras theorem. This length, and you are actually interested in the radius of the second circle, clearly then you are looking at this r. This distance you can figure out. This distance is nothing else but the radius, that is 5. So using Pythagoras theorem you can figure out the capital R value. Hence you will end up getting option 2 as your final answer. In the next problem, you have one parabola and one circle given and you are looking at the point on the parabola corresponding to the minimum distance from the circle. Clearly then in such a case you have to write down a general normal to parabola and you have to make sure that that normal is normal to the circle also. So all you need to do is that you have to put the center on that equation. Equation of such a normal, because A is 2 in this case, is this much and the center of that circle is 0, minus 6. This must lie on it. Once you simplify that equation, the cubic equation, you can check you have got t equal to minus 1 as the solution and other 2 solutions are complex numbers, you can check in that case. So that point P which you are dealing with becomes, it is 80 square and 280, that is 2 minus 4. And now you are looking at such a circle which passes through the center C of that circle, having center at this point. Clearly then the equation of such a circle is, and its radius square is going to be nothing else but the distance of this point and the center, which is simplifying which you will find that the option 1 is correct. In the next problem, it is given to you that length of latus rectum is 8, that is 2b square is equal to 8a, and length of conjugate axis, that is 2b, is given to you as a11, that is half of the distance between the foci. Clearly then from this equation b by a is known to you as e by 2, and once you utilize that relation what we have between b, a and e for hyperbola, you will find that eccentricity is going to be equal to 2 by root 3, which is nothing else but the option 3 in that one. And the next problem is related to 3 dimension, and you have one point given and you have to measure some distance of that point from a plane with respect to some line given. Clearly you can write down first of all a line parallel to the given line through the given point, as in this way. And if you take a variable point like this, that variable point, if you substitute it within the plane, you will end up getting the value of r, and if you put it back here you will end up getting that coordinate, and hence by point distance formula you can handle that. So the variable point here is 1 plus r, then you have negative of r minus 5, then you have 9 plus r, which is equal to 5. You can check then the value of r from this is minus 10, and that point becomes minus 9, minus 15 and minus 1. Hence that required distance is nothing else but 10 root 3, which is the option 2 in that problem. As far as the next problem is concerned, it's again related to 3D, where it is given that some line lies within the plane. So there are two conditions which you have to utilize because there are two unknowns, L and M. One is that the point 3 minus 2 minus 4 must lie on that plane, and the other condition is this direction ratio of this line 2 minus 1 3, dot product of this with L, M and minus 1 must be 0. These two equations are sufficient enough to figure out the value of L and M. The value of L is going to be 1 and M is minus 1, so required expression is 2, which is nothing else but the option 4 in that problem. Okay, next problem is related to vectors. There you have a VTP involved. If you simplify that matter, you will have A dot C times B minus A dot B times C, and on the right hand side you have some scalar multiple of B plus C. Since it is given to you that B is not parallel to C, clearly they are non-collinear vectors, hence you can compare the coefficients. And since you are interested in the angle between A and B, I can safely say that value is negative root 3 by 2 by comparing coefficients. And since AB are unit vectors, this is going to be nothing else but cos theta. So the angle required is 150 degree, which is the option 4. In the next case, you are looking at standard deviation of 4 data. Standard deviation of 4 data is given to you, but out of 4 data, one of them is missing, and that's what you have to figure out. For this case, and if you utilize that formula, you will find that this sigma of xi squares turns out to be 134 by a square by you have 4, and then you have average as 16 plus a by 4 whole square. This is something which is given to you as 3.5, simplifying which you will end up getting a quadratic equation in A as this much, which is directly matching with the option 2 in the problem. As far as 87 problem is concerned, it's related to probability. They have defined 3 different events. E1 is the event when die show 4. The probability for that case, clearly you can check, is 1 by 6 on a particular die. Probability of the second event, that is E2, is related to option, die B shows a number 2, which is again 1 by 6. And the third event, which has been defined as sum of the numbers on both the die is odd. You can check if you throw two dice, sum is either going to be even or odd with fairly equal chance. So I can safely say this is going to be odd or that is going to be even. They're going to be 50-50. So probability of the third event is going to be half. If you figure out of the various options, if you look for this value, that occurrences of all these events together, you will find that that is nothing else but 1 by 72, but as a product of these quantities. But actually this is something which is an impossible event, because here you have got an outcome 2, here you have got an outcome 4, and there you want sum of those outcomes as an odd number, which is impossible to achieve. So clearly you can check these two informations are not matching. Hence I can safely say that even E2, E3 are not independent. We're going to make option 4 correct. In the next problem, you have one trigonometrical equation given and you have to figure out number of solutions. You can check angles of causes are in AP, so you can directly apply that formula. as common difference of angle is x, if you make sure that this denominator is not 0 while solving these two equal to 0, you will find that there are various solutions like this. These are the solutions you will figure out. As far as the angles related to 36 are concerned, it's corresponding to this, and other three angles corresponding to this, subjected to this limitation that this is not 0. So total number of solution is 7, which is option 3 in that problem. Next problem is related to height and distance. There one information is given that from this place to this, someone has taken 10 minutes. Here angle of elevation was 30, and at this point that is 60. Say if I take that as x distance, y distance and h, you can check tan of 30 is related with this information and tan of 60 is related with this quantity. And if I eliminate h from both, you can then check x becomes 2y. So while dealing with twice of distance, 10 minutes is required. So clearly to reach the tower, we have to have 5 minutes, which is required. This is related with the option 4 in that problem. Next problem is related to Boolean algebra. And you have one expression given and you have to figure out which one is equivalent to that. When if I am going ahead with Venn diagram in this case, the first expression you can check is nothing else but P intersection of Q bar, then you have union of Q, then you have union of P bar intersection Q. P intersection Q bar is clearly going to be this. In a similar way, P bar intersection Q is clearly going to be this. And if you are taking union of this shaded area, this shaded area as well as Q, which include this also, I'll end up getting this whole shaded area, which is nothing else but P union Q. In other words, in terms of the notation of Boolean expressions, it is going to be this, which is nothing else but the option 3.